Welcome to Unscripted Lagos. My name is the Social Mo. Here on Unscripted, we discuss issues affecting relationships, sexual relations, life experiences, and navigating life as a Gen Z or millennial living in Lagos, Nigeria. It's about to be an amazing ride, and I can't wait to get the ball rolling or hit the road smooth and nice. This podcast is sponsored by Debate TV. This podcast is rated 18. It is not for the ages below 18 and definitely not for immature minds above the age of 18. This podcast will uncover controversial truths about relationship, love, life, and living in Nigeria. This is not an attempt to trigger a breakup between you and your sanity, but for love and light's sake, we would love for you to listen to this podcast with your friends and family. It is sponsored by Debate TV. Welcome to Unscripted Lagos. My name is Mo and I'm your favorite host of Unscripted Lagos, and today we'll be covering a very juicy but yet controversial topic that everyone can relate with. And on the show today, I'd love to introduce my co-host Hezekiah, but we call him $100 or billions.
100 is actually my surname, yes. 100. Wow. My name is Hezekiah 100. Quite happy to be on Unscripted Lagos.
I'm glad to have you here. And on today's show, we're talking about nightlife in Lagos, or should we just say Nigeria as a whole?
Lagos is like where Nigeria has the kind of nightlife. So,
you just call Lagos
practically, yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be discussing nightlife in Lagos, cyber security, and drugs. And I'm sure that you are one of those. You look like all those. Let me not give you a term.
I think that's actually a bad thing to do. I look like
you're not good. They didn't land now. You look like someone who would find his way around Lagos. You go clubbing and all of that. Enjoy the Lagos life, big boy lifestyle.
So the thing is, I'm actually new in Lagos, but the experiences I've had since I came.
Had and heard.
What
experience have you had? Hope they've not showed you Pepe in Lagos.
Lagos is generally a crazy place.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Fascinating to be in. Sometimes I wonder, hey? So when I talk to my mom about it, she's like, welcome to Lagos. She's not actually here, but she knows, So
what was your first experience coming to Lagos?
When I entered Lagos, so they were already telling me from where I was coming from. If you actually go Lagos, like if you enter Lagos, hold your things, shine your eye, because so practically where I dropped, somebody walked up to me and said, "You want to buy a recharge card?" And I'm like, I don't want to buy a recharge card with my bags and everything. Give me your bag, my help you carry. I'm like,
wow.
So it was like, it was actually, the face off and everything. It was fronty for me, and I felt like, what's this guy trying to do? Yeah. So in my head, shine your eyes.
Yeah, was any ringing in your head? I get you.
So that's
I get you.
So from there, right? Growing up where I grew up from, normally I know Raz. I'm very, very sharp and everything. So I wasn't going to have like too much bad times in Lagos. I was just going to enjoy the fun, craziness and everything.
Yeah. Well, I've lived all my life in Lagos, born and bred in Lagos, babe. Yeah. But anyways, nightlife in Lagos. I know that when I was in school, that was the only time I could say I experienced nightlife, and that's just youthful exuberance. But growing up, I just got to Lagos is very stressful. And then it now boils down to this topic: how do people go clubbing back to back? I want to first of all know the fun in loud music entering your head, your brain, your ears, and then spending all the money. That's where we find all them. You know what? Let's hold on for our guests who will be inviting on this show today. Remember, this is Unscripted Lagos with Debate TV. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification button. Our guest for today's show is Nigerian socialite, entrepreneur, fashion enthusiast, celebrity, the one and only Pretty Mike of Lagos. Hello.
Now only me get this qualification.
It's you.
Wow.
It's you. With proof, with certificates.
All right, I appreciate.
Welcome. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
With my co-host Hezekiah.
Good to have you on the show.
Good to have you. And so on today's show, we're discussing Lagos nightlife. right?
Wow.
And also cybercrime and drug abuse. Okay, so guys, let me just trigger warning. So this is a very sensitive topic, and let me apologize in advance. Don't see my drill and beat me or say I don't have flesh, I cannot fight, right? So I'm talking about Lagos Nightlife, cybercrime and drug abuse. Okay, so I haven't really experienced going to the club before, but I mean we've heard about experiences from other people. I think I've had 1 or 2 experiences from my friends, and I know that there are some clubs in Lagos that have their own like rules and regulations, and they tend to favor more of people that really have the money. I mean, it's okay, right? Every business need individuals to grow. They need that money to grow, right?
Right.
Right. Right. And so for clubs, why is it that there are some clubs that will say, okay, you can't dress this certain type of way, or if you don't have this certain kind of look or dressing, you can't go into the club. I feel like that's actually like discriminating. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
But I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention names, but I know that.
I think you should do.
You have to mention names. You didn't even say car. If you don't have a certain type of car, you can't actually come to this club.
What club is that?
I heard of Secret Palace.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't
If you
been
don't
there.
actually have a G-Wagon, a Benz, or a car that meets up to that standard, you can't actually. I mean, what are you doing here? They bounce people off with certain type of cars.
I know that there was one time that I wanted to go out with my friends. It was in school then. I
Like
can't.
they bounced you before I second pass.
Maybe you went to this is Man U and the owner. They're not. Is this a Man U Arsenal? They're not. They're not a fan of
Man
this.
U.
I will say this with my full chest. If I see a secret palace, I will bounce you.
You don't apologize. You're very vexed. You're very vexed with him like this.
We'll settle it. Just fine.
Okay, so I know that there was one time I wanted to go, and I love dressing comfortably well. So I was on joggers, and then I wore a Crocs and just ran on top, and it bounced us. I can't remember.
What club were you going to?
I can't remember. I was in school. There was a lot. I think it was in 2012 or so.
So you're trying to let us know that you're quite old.
I'm
I'm just saying.
with
So,
my full
I'm
chest.
just saying.
With
It's
my
okay.
full chest.
It's okay. It's all
So around
right.
that time, and then like I know that they didn't let me enter. My friends are like they dressed well, they wore their heels and stuff, and I had to go back. So what's your for someone like you who is in that space and has a business around that line? So what's it like having clubs bring this? It might not be for your own, but like other people having these rules and specifics.
I will tell you something. All clubs, and it's not just in Nigeria, all around the world, have rules, regulations, have a style, have a desired audience.
Okay.
I mean, if a businessman is going to want to put up an establishment in Victoria Island where properties go in the billions, trust me, he wants a certain kind of clients. He does not want, and Lagos is big. If you open up every beautiful place to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, it will be crowded with, at the end of the day, what you didn't open that business up to. I mean, this is a show, right?
Yeah.
And even in this show, there are certain people you guys want to interview. You just don't want to interview anybody. At the end of the day, there are certain people that you want to interview to be able to either drive the kind of traffic that you want, or there's an image you're trying to portray.
Yeah.
So if I say in my club that I want only Lamborghinis to park in front of the club, that's what I want. If you don't own one, go work for one, or you go and you go to the place where.
So we're not wrong.
No, you're not.
Exactly. So
So,
we're not
but
wrong.
more. I'm feeling like this. Don't you think that actually saying that you should actually be at a certain level actually make people feel like, okay, so we know they're this level right now. What if it pushes them to do something wrong? We have lots of youth in the country, you know, and they want to reach that certain standard. They want to throw money around.
Right. So if my standard in my business happen to push you to go commit a crime, that's left to you, your morals, your upbringing, and of course to the law of the land. It has nothing to do with me.
So let me cut you there. So you know what we're talking about. Don't forget we're talking about nightlife, cybercrime, and drug abuse.
Go ahead.
So are you agreeing and attesting to the fact that clubs like this encourage cybercrime? Because yes, I agree that even as individuals, right, we're accountable for our morals, how we behave, and all of that, right? And we shouldn't be influenced by other people, what we see on social media. I agree with you, but at the same time, I think that because of the kind of niche that it is, right, and Nigeria is already stressful, right, and I just want to, after a 9 to 5, I just want to go and chill. I want to relax somewhere, and I choose to say, okay, I want to relax in a club where I can just listen to my favorite music. But then there is, you can't come in if you don't have this. You can't come in if you're not putting on this. You can't come in without. I think that's like stereotyping, right? Okay. And I think it's encouraging. Don't you think that it's also encouraging people to go into cybercrime?
Beautiful question. You know what? I don't think the word crime in general is written in anybody's forehead. I don't think there's any establishment in Nigeria that says, we encourage people that do cybercrime. I mean, I've been in the nightlife business, and I've had a lot of successful, genuine young men and ladies in business world that want to come and flaunt their money. They want to come and spend. They want to come and live good. I have people that come from overseas, and you know what? They come in because they want to spend their money. That does not necessarily mean that my company, or because we've placed a standard, automatically I say you can't become an armed robber, or I say you should.
It's not directly telling them.
I mean, it's none of my business. If at the end of the day, after you get off your work and you decide to come to my club or lounge in VI, and you are wearing Crocs and joggers, and you get to the gate, I'll tell you, young lady, please, you cannot come in.
So you see me like
you can go to Abado Ijayi. There's a lounge over there for you that caters to your kind of clientele, and that's just business. We need to understand, and not being sentimental, you can't come in. So these are rules and regulations. I just think Nigeria sometimes they feel like everybody's entitled to everything, just because the establishment is there, then I should just allow somebody from the streets that probably he hasn't put on roll-on or and they just come into the establishment, sit down, take pictures, and order a glass of water.
Yeah,
that's not what I opened my establishment.
So I won't say that. I agree with what you say, but not totally. I won't say that is entitlement. They have that entitlement mentality, right? And I agree that every business has a purpose and their own target audience, right? And going back to thinking about how the nightlife and stuff like this has affected most of our youth, right? You see people splurging money in clubs, and you just feel that automatically, right? You just feel that these people are sort of like encouraging other people to just like go into stuff,
indulge into crime. First of all, I think first of all, I need to correct the notion. Not everybody you see in the nightclub splurging and spending money is into crime.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So if the man next door, let's say your little brother or your boyfriend, is intimidated by watching my snap and seeing me do what I do, you understand? That doesn't mean I'm trying to tell him go and commit crime. Rather, if he has any sense, if he's a God-fearing man, if his parents bred him up right, or he lives in an environment or society that is upfront, he will go sit down, think, and say, you know what? How do I establish a business? How do I be the best at my work? How do I, because you know what? This is the kind of lifestyle I want to live. Yeah. Don't forget, because you see people splurging money in the club, doesn't necessarily mean they are rich.
So you will not say that sometimes people forget morality and want to do bad. My parents brought me up well. I was born into a church, a Bible-believing church. And
not with this kind of help.
No. I didn't
like this.
Like you get, and I was brought up properly well. They trained me well. They told me everything good to live life with.
Right.
And at some point, I've been hustling, and it didn't pay off. And at some point, I'm watching somebody snap, and the person is actually throwing money around.
Yes.
Living their life, not like it's you're adding money and stuff.
Sure.
How do I get to make this person understand that this is like my hard-earned money? This is why I work for. Because sometimes the pressure gets so real that they forget that this person could have made this money legitly, and they do bad things. They just feel that, okay, maybe this person just made money somehow, so let me just...
It's a society that we can't help. Don't forget, Nigeria is a country of over 200 and something million people. How many people do you want to keep preaching to or telling that, oh, I made money this way? You know what? Let's forget about even crime. It's almost the same thing we're seeing in the sports industry. Everybody at some point want to be a football superstar. Yeah. There's a pressure to it. Everybody wants to become an artist. There's a pressure to it. So anywhere there's success, right? You can see people gravitate towards it. Sometimes they go crazy about it. I mean, everybody's looking for a way to succeed. Not necessarily you seeing somebody in the club buying 10 bottles of champagne, automatically you're thinking, oh, he's into cybercrime, or he's a criminal, or that kind of, but that's your notion. If that's the way you feel and you decide to venture into that, whatever you see there at the end of the day, that's your cup of tea. But I can guarantee you something, the law is going to come for you.
Mo, you'd agree with me that this notion in Lagos is actually...
I think Mo is in a relationship right now with somebody like that.
No, please don't spoil my market. I'm single, very single. Yes, you have money. You should have your money, but from reliable sources.
Continue.
But wait, let me share an experience. Not like an experience, because like I said, I've not been to a club before. I don't know. You probably take me after this show.
Okay.
You people, where's my producer? Make sure you record this moment. Okay.
Come on.
He's spitting my A of Lele. Okay, so a friend shared an experience with me, right? And he sat at a table, bought the drinks they could buy. Maybe because from what he told me, maybe he didn't buy as much drinks as others were buying. Exactly. So when the girls came to the table now, fine girls, they sat down. Some guys on the other table now sent the waitress to drop drinks on the table for the girls. And those ones got offended because, I mean, it's my girlfriend. Why are you sending drinks to her? Obviously, you can see me and these girls together. So I went to confront them. Last fight broke out. Yeah. And the other guys were very aggressive, even threw them down the staircase, like fighting. And then the bouncers now said, you know what? You guys should just go. And then they turned back and see that they've let those other guys into the club because, okay, maybe they're like their customers and all of that.
Oh, that's the one who are spending the most.
Yes, so the ones that spend the most and all of that. So you can see that is also encouraging those like sort of crimes. It's sort of like, I don't care where your money is coming from, and this is what I was saying. I don't, because genuinely, club owners, you want to make your money. So obviously you don't have that. Just like every other business, right? And yes, you might not have that right to wanting to know where this person is made their money from or how they made their money. Your own is that, I mean, who others? You carry your this thing, drop it on the table and all of that, right? But I know that for most people, we just think that in clubs, right, what's the word? G-boys.
Yeah.
That mostly go there. They use it as like a cover. Obviously, they cannot spend their money on any other thing good than like, okay, just like spend this, go to the club, buy drinks, carry.
I beg to differ.
It's not. No, I'm just saying from what other people like think. So it's not just like
it's a notion.
It's a notion, right? Okay, right. So correct.
Right, so it's a notion.
Okay.
And let me address this part. I think we live in a society where I think once you're out in public with your girlfriend, with your wife, once you're in a public gathering, right, people are going to make advances.
Sure.
So if a guy from another table decides to send a bottle of champagne, a bottle of drink down to your table for the girls, just like you said, I think every guy should learn how to be matured. First of all, when you come out in public, be matured.
Yeah.
So there are two things. It's either you wave back at the guys, or you tell the waiter, you know what, take it back. It doesn't have to bring about a fight. For me, once you start fighting, it shows you're classless automatically. Then why even be in public?
Yeah.
So for that guy that decided to start showing himself, maybe he felt intimidated, maybe his self-esteem was down, maybe, I don't know what it is, but because a guy sent a bottle of drink or drinks to your table where your girls were, doesn't mean you have to respond aggressively. For me, if that happened to me, there are a couple of ways to handle it. I can send back bottles to the table too.
Pretty Mike.
Yes.
What if the guy doesn't have money to send back? You can say that thing is disrespectful. I
Yes,
can with girls now.
we are in a society where, you know what? It depends on how you look at the word disrespectful. How? You came with a girl and somebody sent a bottle of drink.
Maybe he's trying to say I don't have enough money.
But you
So
don't.
why didn't you just send everybody else?
Yes.
Why did you have to be the guy that had more to buy and spend?
Yeah, but then how does that affect? Now, does that make you have to bring out your toutishness?
No.
Whether you have the money or you don't have the money. I mean, I'm just saying, we should learn, even if somebody insults you or embarrasses you in public, does that mean you have to bring out your area boy? You know, I remember you're from Abuloja or back in the days, and you want no. See, that's why
So
we.
someone is
curb-
trying to move your babe from you.
That's why we curb the kind of people that come to the establishment, and that's why.
okay.
And that's why when they threw those guys out, they allowed the guys that were spending the more.
No, the ones that were spending more were the ones that were aggressive.
Yes, because you know what?
So nobody is even going to curtail the person that actually did that, because I feel like that's not a good act.
Yeah, but I feel like we're in a society and environment where we all need to act mature. Because somebody sent drinks to your table does not mean you should be violent or start cursing or start fighting.
That's true.
I mean, thank you, or no, please can you take it back? Or just, for me, if I want to embarrass the person, let me tell you how I do stuff like that. Listen, I'm pretty Mike for crying out loud. And I go out sometimes, and you know, sometimes people just want to test my
Patient.
That's
Right.
the Pretty Mike.
Right, they want to. So
Yeah.
there are several ways I've responded. And I like to go out with a lot of ladies. I mean, generally,
Obviously.
you know, sometimes someone might send maybe a couple of drinks to the table. Fine, we can open all the drinks and not drink it. At
Okay.
the end of the day, you are looking at your drinks being wasted.
Tip 1.
You
They're
know?
hairy.
So there are so many ways to disrespect the person back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Or you can just take those drinks and dash maybe the waiters or the waitresses or just dash them. These people do affect us. We should be matured. Whether you have money or you don't have money, even Dangote is still find money.
Sure.
You know? So I mean, let's just be humble and keep thanking God for the little we have.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I'm still on the topic. So I'm not forgetting drug abuse. So they say, of course, I'm also saying deep because I'm not being until that for clubs they sort of like encourage it more. Like they saw like real hard drugs that would rather like destroy. It's all, and it all boils down to business.
No,
right?
I don't think any club encourages hard drugs. No.
But they said it there.
No, they don't. I don't think there's any club in this Lagos that sells hard drugs or encourages hard drugs. The only thing you can tell me is a club, a lounge, a restaurant, a pub, a bar is a place where people come to do what? Drink alcohol. And anywhere people come to drink alcohol, there are tendencies for us to have people that like to go overboard.
Yeah.
There are tendency, and now don't forget the word alcohol has to do with highness. So there's some people that think alcohol doesn't do it for them in terms of highness. They not indulge in their extracurricular activities. So you tend to find out that in the club, that's where you find a higher concentration of people that do secondary drugs. Not because the club encourages it. There's no club that you see on their menu that are selling one
Because
drug.
it's not beyond their menu.
I'm just saying, you know, but there's no club that encourages it. In fact, we try as much as possible to discourage it, because you know what? The more you do hard drugs, the more you tend not to drink as much alcohol that we sell.
But you're not going to dispute the fact that there are clubs in Lagos that you would be in, and there are people that still peddle out drugs inside of
It's
it.
not like they even announce.
Yes, they are not going to tell you. They are inside these clubs. Baba Alpha, you already know. So how do you guys cop stuff like that?
Of course, I'm not going to say we're not seeing stuff like that happen. Of course, we frown at it, especially because you're taking from our business.
Yeah.
If somebody came into the club and was to drink maybe 3 bottles of champagne, and a peddler or somebody finds a way to smuggle in some kind of hard drug into the club, by the time he takes that stuff, he's probably going to drink half a bottle. So now you've taken from my business, you're taking food from me. I will not be able to sell the 3 bottles of champagne I'm supposed to sell. So we fight against it.
But this is Lagos. Mo, I'm going to say something. This is
Yeah.
Lagos. Do you think this can ever stop? This is Lagos.
It's not just Lagos, it's all over the world. New York, Hawaii, Dubai, wherever it is that there's a nightclub where alcohol is being sold, trust me, there are other means of things that are also being peddled around the club, because you know what? It's a nightlife business. You know, nightlife is where, trust me, no rules. Everything is being sold, everything is being marketed to you. Even if you don't want it, your friends are trying to market it to you, your girlfriends, your lovers, whatever. He's trying to convince you, he's trying to turn you, he's trying to make you try something that you probably haven't tried before. It's just the environment. It's just for you to say, you know what, no, there's only alcohol that you do, period.
Okay, so we're rounding off now. So as a club owner, right, what would you say let me face the question. So how do you think that as a club owner you can sort of like be a part of helping the government, right, to reduce stuff like cybercrime and like drug abuse? Because we know that it's like the club is like vulnerable space.
Yes.
Do you get? Like this is the only place where I can misbehave. This is the only place where I can do as I like, as long as I am spending my money. So it's like their main zone for vulnerability.
Well, in terms of, will I say this environment is an environment that encourages crime? No. In fact, I think we ease people's pain. For me, the nightclub is a place of relaxation. It's a place where you can come and chill and just, think about other things. I had a friend of mine that walked into his wife. She's 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And he walked in and she was having sex with another guy.
6 months pregnant.
Yes. So he thought of killing himself. He called me pretty. I said, you know what? He came to the club. He just wanted to just chill. Now you know what? That industry is doing a lot of good. He came and he started drinking a bottle of Hennessy, and I told him, why Hennessy? Let's do champagne.
Okay.
He's like, why? I said, we're celebrating. I said, we're celebrating. Yes. I said, why are we celebrating? I said, we're celebrating because the good thing is about it, you cut this early. You could have actually found out about this 15 years down your marriage, or 20 years down your marriage with 5 kids and 4 of them not being yours. So there's a lot of good that's also being done when people come out to the nightclub and just, relax.
Okay, I guess a lot of good, right?
Your club saved
So
your life.
this is what I said. Peter Mike has said that
Like,
the
this
club
club literally
is
saved
your
your life.
therapy
You get?
Yes.
session. If you catch your wife cheating, come to the club, drink Hennessy. I'm
Not
talking,
just
no,
any
don't go-
club, not just any club, pretty Mike.
No, I didn't advise you. Please see a therapist. Please see a therapist. So we have come to the end of today's episode of Unscripted Lagos with HDB TV. So let's know your thoughts. Let's know your opinion about and share your experience with us. Nightlife in Lagos, cybercrime, drug abuse. Have you ever faced aggression? Is the club your happy place? What good can come out of the club? We're not saying that the club is a bad place to be, right? I even want to ask, wait, what do people enjoy in clubs? Is all the loud music? Is it not disturbing their brain?
Like, you get, it's too like.
So wait, what's the pleasure? No, I'm not trying to. I want to actually know. So what's the pleasure that people get from clubs? What is it? What is that spirit?
So, for you that have not been to a club,
Loud it.
no, but you said you haven't been to a club.
I haven't.
Good. Don't you think there's something missing in your life?
No.
Just sitting down,
There's a spirit, like,
just sitting down here.
My life is beautiful.
I can tell. You need some kind of action.
But you're just praising me before now.
You need some kind of vibe.
What kind of vibe?
And let me let you know something. After this section, we're gonna get jiggy with it.
I'm
No,
done.
we are going to the club.
I'm done.
Come on, it's like a spirit behind that.
Wow.
Yeah, we gotta blend you.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hezekiah.
But you threw a couple of insults at me, but it's fine. I mean, I'm a guy, I can do something. Like,
You look like one of those guys that normally pedal.
Go to the club.
Pedal.
Hello.
jokes, like, yes, you get, like, alpha.